Hey everybody, this is Sheri Traxler with ViREO Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. I am out on this beautiful day with Brian Adair from the retreat at Center Hill Lake talking about Screen-Free Week. And I thought, it might be good to ask Brian some questions because he doesn't just work at the retreat, he also has a tech background. So, first question is, what are some things people can do if they're not tied to technology?
Well, that's a really good question. As far as screen-free time, just think about when you didn't have screens. Think of when you didn't have a smartphone in your hand, or think when back in school that they had a computer lab. They didn't have a computer at your desk. Mm-hmm. The things that you can do is walking, hiking, running.
Hiking, like right out in here where we are right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Those benefits you greatly to get out in nature and walk and get some fresh air and some sunshine and be in some natural environments.
Oh, but what about rainy days?
Well, rainy days, bring a raincoat, or bring an umbrella.
Well, okay.
We shouldn't be afraid of the rain. Now, lightning's a different story,
I
right?
might melt, but,
Yes. So, I've always told that, there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. So it's always something to remember. Yeah. Don't be afraid to be outdoors, even in the snow or when it's below freezing. Just have the right gear. Yeah. That's all. Other things you can do is, from the creative side is art and painting. Yes. Get a paintbrush out. Just paint your thoughts on a piece of paper.
That's a neat idea.
Other things you could do is, play a musical instrument. These things relieve stress and they connect with your creative side of your brain. Other things you can do, board games or puzzles. Mm-hmm.
What great way to interact with the people in your family or with friends.
That is right. And that's what it's all about is, reconnecting with people and having good relationships. Not with your screen, but with your friends and your family and, even strangers too. Strangers need time to connect. It's truly, addiction when it comes down to it being addicted to a screen or addicted to other things. It's truly about a lack of bonding with other people, a lack of relationships. Okay. So those things are really important. Other things that you could do, fishing and boating and swimming, just anything you can think about from an outdoor recreation standpoint. Those things are really going to open up your mind and open up your life to be more fulfilling and be more natural and create better relationships.
Brian, you talked a little bit about this, but what are some of the benefits of decreasing screen time?
Wow, there's a lot of benefits. I think one is, just your attention span. Looking at a screen all day, whether it be 6 hours, 8 hours a day, and the statistics say it's like
even 11 in some cases.
Yeah, it's amazing. Having attention to conversations that you have, not worrying about what you're missing out on Facebook or just in general having attention to what's around you and what you're engaged in. With screens, it's a lot of passive, passive learning or passive watching. Mm-hmm. Even though you're swiping up and down your phone, that's part of the addiction of having these smartphones. Let's think about Las Vegas and the slot machines. It's up and down, right? So these things are in and created to make sure that we're addicted to these things. Mm-hmm.
Super, Brian. Now, I know you came from a tech background. So what is the tech industry doing to help us decrease our screen time or use screen time in an appropriate way?
Yeah. There's an organization out there called the Center for Humane Technology.
Interesting.
It was created by, and don't quote me on this, but I think it was a ex-Facebook exec or a Google exec, something like that they're no longer with the company. And they've created this organization to make people aware that what some of these apps and some of this technology that was created is meant to make you addicted to it. So they're taking advantage of the human nature of how we process and how we use things. Mm-hmm. So this is a very important thing, and I think there's people following this movement of creating humane technology. So again, using it as tools instead of entertainment device, and because everything that we have around us can be used as a tool if we choose to do so, right? And as far as other things that are happening inside the technology industry, as you can see, there's lots of different organizations, even with Screen Free Week, this organization, just making you aware that this is not the best way to learn or the best way to spend your time. You can grow outside of screens in much, much deeper ways.
They have a place.
That's right.
They have a
They
place.
have a place.
I mean, obviously, because we're communicating to you, and if it weren't for screens, we wouldn't be able to communicate this with you. But they don't have a place all the time. And if there's addiction things being fed into this, that's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, and I can tell you kind of an example. If you go to their website, you can find it. Just Google it.
And what's the name of it again?
Center for Humane Technology. Okay. They actually have a section on there that says take control of your phone. And they have probably 8 or 9 suggestions on what to do with your phone to make it less addicting. So for a couple examples is, go to black and white. It's not as appealing. And you'd be surprised by going black and white on your screen how much more vibrant the world looks.
Oh, that's good.
Other things that they suggest is, keep your tools, the ones that you use mostly, on your front page, and put everything else kind of buried into your phone. And they also say, search for your apps instead of swiping and trying to click and trying to find it.
Nice.
It's about reducing time on your screen, not just reducing screen time.
Well, and what you just mentioned, I'm jumping in here, what you just mentioned about having to go search for your apps, it's kind of like if you have a special treat that you like to eat, nothing wrong with having it. It's just you don't want it to be right there in a bowl beside your TV that you're munching. You want to have to get up and go get it, because then you're able to think, do I really want this? Or in the case of an app, do I really need or want to look at this right now, that it's not out of automatic habit? Is that kind of on top?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And another example is, take your phone and get it out of the bedroom. Don't put it on your nightstand.
Yeah.
Because
I'm going to jump in here. Actually, there's a research study I saw where not having it in the bedroom near your head helps with cognitive function, even if you're not looking at it, just, I guess, the wireless or something.
That's right.
That it impacts you while you're sleeping, so it's good to have it out of the room for that reason, too.
Yeah.
So go ahead, sorry.
And I can tell you that another big part of this is, the blue light emission.
True.
That we get from almost every single screen, for one, but even lights in general. It's important to take a few hours before bed and not look at screens.
That's right.
That way you can sleep better, and if you sleep better, you perform better, you thrive, and there's just so much more that comes from that.
Yep. Okay, Brian, last question. This is a personal one. What do you hope to get out of Screen Free Week?
Well, I can tell you that I want to personally see other people benefit from Screen Free Week. With my lifestyle and my family, we're already using some of the tools and activities that that we will kind of communicate with you as when you come on site on April 28th. But it's truly about education. Knowing that there's an alternative to what you're doing. And I speak of 8 hours on a screen. Like we said before, it's not about eliminating screens from our lives, because screens are useful if they're used as tools. But, reducing that time, and I want to see people, see this week that we're taking and kind of reducing the screen time, you'll see how much, like I said, the world opens up to you, and the relationships open up, and the conversations you have, and how good you feel afterwards. So to answer your question, really, it's about other people, and seeing what they can get out of it, and what they can carry with them also beyond Screen Free Week, because that's truly where change happens.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Details for the event. April the 28th, Sunday afternoon from 2 until 4. We'll take you on a nature walk. We will give you some activities outdoor to do with your friends, your family, and then also some activities to do inside, so that way you know what to do. Like he was talking about, you don't be afraid of the rain if you have a rainy day.
That's
but
right.
if it's a deluge, I hate to tell you, I'm not going to use an umbrella. I'm going to be inside being active and doing some things. That's okay too. Yeah.
That's okay
too.
So
we'll give you some activities to do for that as well, and give you some education on Screen Free and some ideas of how you can personalize Screen Free Week for yourself, because it's not going to be the same for everybody.
That's right. And we'll see you April 28th at the retreat at Center Hill Lake.